All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to build the very first piece of logic for an automated trading strategy. And look, this is not about some crazy complex algorithm. It's about taking one simple rule that's in your head and teaching it to a machine using MQL5. By the time we're done here, you'll have a real piece of code that actually makes decisions based on what the market is doing. You should think of programming less like writing code and more like teaching. You're taking your own unique strategy, your view of the market, and you're translating it into a set of instructions that a machine can follow perfectly 24/7. You're the teacher, and your new student is a robot that's ready to learn your rules. So before we write a single line of code, let's ask, why even do this? Well, think about manual trading. So much of it is driven by emotion, right? Fear, greed, getting impatient. But automated systems, they are pure logic. They never get tired, they don't get spooked, and they can watch the markets around the clock, executing your strategy with perfect discipline every single time. And really, this is the entire reason MQL5 was even created. The official reference says it all. Its whole purpose is to automate strategies to work on various financial markets. This language was literally built from the ground up for traders, for you. Okay, so how do we actually build one of these things? In MQL5, our trading robot is called an expert advisor, or you'll just hear it called an EA. Just think of the EA as the brain of the whole operation. It's the program that's going to hold all our rules and all the logic for our strategy. Now, at the very heart of every single expert advisor is this thing called the on-tick function. You can see the basic setup right here. The best way to think about this is like the robot's heartbeat. Every time the price in the market changes, every single tick, the code that we put inside these curly braces, it runs. This is where our logic goes, so our robot is constantly checking the market with the freshest information possible. A robot that just sits there and watches isn't very useful, right? To be a trader, it has to make decisions. And the most fundamental tool for making a decision in code is the if-else statement. It's the simplest way we can tell our robot, hey, if this specific thing is happening in the market, then do this. Otherwise, do something completely different. At its core, the if-else operator is basically just a fork in the road for our program. It asks a simple question. If the answer is true, the code goes down one path. If the answer is false, it goes down the other. It sounds simple, but this one little choice is the foundation for every complex strategy you can imagine. So let's look at the basic structure. It all starts with that word if, followed by some kind of condition inside the parentheses. Just think of that condition as a simple true or false question. If the answer to the question is true, the code inside those curly braces run. If it's false, the program just skips right over that block of code. Simple as that. Okay, let's make this real. Instead of some generic expression, let's ask a real trading question. Is the current price candle bullish? And we can write that in code super simply, just like you see here. If close greater than open. If the price a candle closes at is higher than the price it opened at, well, our condition is true. We know the candle is bullish. But what if the candle isn't bullish? What if it's bearish or just flat? That's where the else keyword is so powerful. As you can see, the else block just catches everything else. If our close greater than open condition turns out to be false, the code inside the else block runs instead. And just like that, our robot can now handle both bullish and bearish scenarios. It has a complete thought process. Okay, this is great. Our robot can now make a decision, but how do we know what decision it just made? Right? We need to give it a voice. We need a way for it to tell us what it's thinking and what it's seeing. This kind of feedback is absolutely critical, not just for checking our work, but for watching our strategy run in real time. So our robot basically has two ways to talk to us. For the quiet, day-to-day status updates, we use the comment function. This just puts a little bit of text in the corner of your chart, perfect for just seeing the current market state at a glance. But for the stuff you absolutely cannot miss, we use alert. This triggers a loud pop-up window that demands your attention right away. All right, it is time to put all the pieces together. We've got our expert advisor structure with the on-tick function, we've got our if-else logic to make a decision, and we have our comment and alert functions to give our robot a voice. Let's combine all of it into one complete working piece of code. Okay, let's just walk through this final code together. Inside our on-tick heartbeat, we first grab the open and close price for the latest candle. Then comes our logic. If the close is greater than the open, we use comment to quietly put market as bullish on the chart. But in every other case, that's the else part, we not only update the comment to bearish/neutral, but we also trigger a loud alert to make sure we know about this critical condition. You can see how all the pieces just fit together perfectly. And that's it. I mean, Look what you just did. In just a handful of lines of code, you built a program that is constantly watching the market, it's analyzing price direction, it's giving you a status update, and it's alerting you to important events. This simple structure, this is the foundation for pretty much every complex trading robot out there. So that brings us to the most important question, doesn't it? You now have the basic building blocks to turn any rule into code. Maybe for you, it's a moving average crossover, or checking the RSI, or finding a specific candlestick pattern. Whatever it is, the logic is exactly the same. Check a condition and then take an action. So what's the first rule you're going to teach your robot?